This mutation is called Never Say Die, and it is being played on missed opportunities. We have three mutators active. We have Life Leech, we have Just Die, and we have Barrier. So, by far, the most difficult mutator here is the Just Die mutator. Enemies will respawn upon taking fatal damage. To be honest, they don't really respawn more than their HP gets reset to 100% when they take fatal damage. There is a bit of a difference between the two phrasings over there, because a respawn would imply that their death effects get triggered, which is not the case. When a unit dies, it does not actually trigger any of the death effects that it may have. In this case, I'm talking about effects that other mutators would apply, such as self-destruction or scorched earth. It will only get applied on the when the unit actually finally dies. So that is the way this that is the way Just Die works here. We can see the Karax has already taken their expansion, and while the players get set up, let's have a look at the masteries that they have picked here. Karax has gone for the unit cost reduction, the Repair Beam, and the Spear of Adun Energy. Now Vorazun has gone for the Dark Pylon range, Time Stop, and the Spear of Adun Energy as well. So there'll be a heavy reliance on the Spear of Adun abilities, and yeah, we will see what the plan is for these two commanders over here that they have in store for Amon, as they try to defend and protect Stetman's spots from the onslaught that will be coming their way. So we can see here the Vorazun has already started to send a probe on here to deal to start mining, some long distance mining on this side, and yeah, more or less all quiet right now, and while they wait for the attack waves to spawn. So the enemy composition was detected a little bit earlier, so they sent a worker over there to see what's there, and it is the Siege of Storms composition, which I believe is the old Skytoss Tempest composition. So Oracles, Void Rays, Tempests, all sorts of air units that will be coming up their way, so they will need to have a little a good amount of anti-air to deal with that. We have a few of the Shadow Guard now that have been spawned, and a very quick capture on the assimilators. So gas is very important for Vorazun to make sure that her army remains very strong, and now Shadow Guard uses a Shadow Fury to start taking out some of these Adepts. Unfortunately, these Adepts have Just Die, and that is going to be a bit of a problem. So these Shadow Guard now have been sent into this enemy camp here. Unfortunately, there's no detection on these Zealots, so these Zealots are going to try and run away. The Shadow Guard does not end up getting used here, with a Time Stop gets cast with one Adept that gets left over on this side. I believe there was a few orbital strikes that came down from Karax to kill off those Adepts, but there was one that is still remaining now, and there's a Sentinel that will be coming up at some point, I believe, over here. And yeah, so there we go, there's a Sentinel over here. And you can see how this Adept is going to be a bit of an annoyance for the Sentinel, because it's actually able to heal itself every single time it uses its glaive attack. But now his buddy comes up to help him and ends up shanking that Adept, and the Adept is dead. Press F to pay respects. So now we have the first harvesting bot is going to start harvesting the Terrazine. The first harass wave has started to spawn for Amon and will start to attack this bot. There does not appear to be anything here to protect this harvesting bot, but Vorazun has now just finished getting the gateway research done, so the warp gate research done. So that warp gate will allow Vorazun to warp in some of these units here. There was a black hole that comes down to stall these Adepts, but unfortunately no orbital strikes from Karax's side to deal with that, and now that bot is going to start taking a little bit more damage than is necessary. The Zealot walks in the way of the cannon, cancels the cannon, and now there's a cannon here to deal a little bit of damage and try and take out that Zealot. There is now some detection over here, because you can see this cannon is cloaked, but the Zealot is still able to attack it. You just see how Life Leech is being really annoying. The Zealot is basically healing itself all the way through. Another black hole comes down, captures a large number of these Adepts over here, and a few orbital strikes get dropped from Karax to clean up that side. Fortunately, Karax does not have any energy left, and these Adepts are going to be regenerating their HP very quickly as a result of this. A few Centurions get warped in as well to stall, making sure that this bot does not take too much damage, and because they want to make sure that they don't end up losing the bot in the early stages of the game. These cannons here from Karax are decent in stalling the enemy wave, but Karax's def is not strong enough just yet, and those cannons end up getting cleared out very quickly. Now we have a warp and a few Dark Archons here for Vorazun, and Vorazun now will start attacking this side. They should be able to clear out that without too many problems over here. And yeah, we have a few more orbital strikes. Very nice targeting there on the orbital strikes. Does take out some of the steps. Two more left, harassing the Dark Archons over here, but for the most part these Dark Archons will be okay. Dark Archons already have all their abilities, I believe. They have the Dark, they have the Argus Crystal upgrade and the Mind Control upgrade as well. I think those are the Dark Archon upgrades. I cannot remember what the Dark Archon upgrades are, but so far it looks like the Dark Archons do have all the upgrades they need, and they are backed up with a bunch of Centurion buddies with them as well. Now Karax is warping in an Energizer, and yeah, more or less this first set of weapons are okay. Now we have the next set of harvesting bots that are going to be going towards the Terrors and Geysers, and again, this army is a little bit small. The small enemy camp has been cleared out, which is kind of surprising there. I think that part was missed in the process, and now there's an attack wave that is making its way towards these harvesting bots. The good thing about it is this attack wave is not able to attack the harvesting bot with the Phoenixes. The Phoenixes only deal damage to air, and the harvesting bot is considered a ground unit, so that is somewhat good for the commanders. Purifier Beam does come down onto those Phoenixes and cleaning out those Phoenixes, but now there's another harass wave over here, and these Phoenixes have a lot of HP, and because they have to just die as well, that does keep them alive. So these Archons are going to have a little bit of a hard time to deal with them, but unfortunately for Vorazun, the Phoenixes stack, and the Archons end up cleaning out this with their splash damage. So Archons do indeed deal a little bit of splash damage. Now a time stop has come down to just stall this next harass wave, and that should end up clearing out this, they should be able to clear out this side. A few mind controls come down on some of these Phoenixes to provide a little bit more anti-air DPS for Vorazun. Vorazun now has 2 Phoenixes in her mix. That should be more or less okay. And now there is just another harass wave again over here. A few Disco Infernos get triggered onto these Oracles, dealing a little bit of damage. So far, 1 Archon has gone down as a result, which is a little bit painful, but more or less okay. These commanders do have everything under control for the most part. Another Archon again gets recalled, emergency recalled over there. One of the biggest advantages of going for this Dark Pylon range is you can put down a pylon like this and keep your Archons alive if they get focus fired down like this. You can see this guy getting focus fired down by the Oracles over here, and because they are kind of fat, it's very difficult to micro them out of the way. But if you do have them in cloak, your emergency recall will keep them alive, which is very, very useful, especially when you have very, very expensive units over here. This is just an absolute slugfest right now as the commander just trying to deal with this attack wave. Lots of Phoenixes in the mix here, which is making it a little bit difficult to clear out these enemy units, especially combined with the Just Die Mutator over here. Fortunately, some of the Phoenixes have moved over here to start harassing Karax's base, which is a little bit annoying for Karax. Karax will have to try and deal with that, but Vorazun has also decided to pull back the army. There's another cannon here, but unfortunately the Phoenixes are not interested in Karax's base anymore. They want to try and harass Vorazun's base. They will, like, screw specifically this guy, but the army for Vorazun now is in position, and those Phoenixes will end up getting cleaned up, and not a moment too soon, because now the commanders have to go and deal with the next set of Terrors and Geysers, which have already been marked, and that area has not been cleared. So they will have to hurry up before the next wave of harvesting bots reach that location, otherwise those bots are going to be having a very bad day. So we have an army of Dark Archons and Centurions, a total of 10 Dark Archons so far are available on the map here, so that is actually a good number of mind controls and a good number of Centurions too. But Vorazun has to make sure that she's maintaining, she's using her gas as effectively as possible, which is why she doesn't really want to warp in any more Centurions until she's used up all her gas here. So now they start pushing them, and now the theft begins. Karax has stolen a Stalker, Vorazun has stolen an Immortal, and now there is another attack wave that is coming up towards the side. Lots of Energizers here for Karax, and these Energizers are going to probably start stealing some of the units. So 3 of the Phoenixes get stolen from Karax, and now we have a few Solar Lances get dropped onto this attack wave, and that should end up clearing out this side. Over here now, there is a time stop that gets dropped from Vorazun to allow Vorazun to pick off some of these units in this enemy camp over here, stealing a mind control onto the 2 Void Rays. So those are the high damage units, so those Void Rays are gone. And over here now, Karax has stolen some more Phoenixes to add to his mix in his army, and now Amon's army is gone. And by now you guys will probably realize what kind of build, what kind of meme build these 2 players are going to be doing. They are going to be stealing Amon's units. So over here, another bunch of Phoenixes, lots of mind controls coming down on these Phoenixes, and now these Phoenixes are all gone. And from this side, a few reclamations from Karax's Energizers ends up stealing these Phoenixes over here as well. And I think for the most part, everything seems to be handled reasonably well. few more of these units come up now, and again, they end up cleaning up that attack with the harassment very, very quickly. Another Warpen has come up over here, and now Karax has used his Reclamation ability to steal some more of these Phoenixes. All that's left now is Hybrid. If you Hybrid, the Storm comes down onto some of this army. This army moves out of the way because he's not really interested in engaging that side anytime soon. And there we go. Vorazun sitting at 187 supply, 195 supply right now for Vorazun. And for Karax, he is sitting at 95 supply right now and stolen the Immortal as well in the process. So there we go. I actually kind of wish I could see Amon's unit lost, because there would basically be nothing there except hybrids. All of Amon's units have just gotten stolen by these two players, which is kind of funny. But yeah. So now the players are going to be waiting for the next attack wave. The next attack wave will be a while before it spawns, so I think maybe they will start slowly starting to harass this side. So there's an Immortal and a Stalker and a Void Ray over there. The Void Ray gets stolen by Vorazun. I think the Scout gets stolen as well in the process by... No, the Scout gets stolen by Karax over here. And some more of these units as well get taken over. And now Vorazun is sitting at 202 supply. Karax at 99 supply right now, and now the next attack wave has spawned, and now there's an emergency Warpen right now with a few Sentinels just to provide a little bit of meat shield for this army. A nice black hole comes down, a few orbital strikes come down onto this army to wipe out a good chunk of them. Still hybrids left alive, and those hybrids are going to be a little bit annoying to deal with because they do have the Just Die buff as well, which does allow them to respawn, but as you can see, Commanders didn't really struggle very much dealing with that, and now there are a bunch of Sentinels. They're just going to be attacking this Hybrid. Hybrid gets stamped to death, and now Commanders will have to try and deal with the next side. Overall, units lost. 8 Energizers have been lost, 1 Dark Archon. Not terrible losses considering the kind of build they're doing and considering that this is a mutation. So now the Commanders are going to get ready in position, and they'll start pushing into this next enemy base here. So there is a Zealot and a Void Ray, but the Void Ray gets stolen. There's an Immortal pushing from the back. Immortal also gets stolen over here. There's a Colossus standing tall at the back, but again, that Colossus also gets stolen by Vorazun. Vorazun just doesn't care. It's like, your army is my army now. And yeah, that small enemy camp has been cleared out. A bunch of Energizers attacking something at the back over there, or attacking this Hybrid over here. A bunch of Sentinels will end up cleaning out the side. Over here, Vorazun has continued to push through, stolen the Immortals, stolen the Void Rays, and now Vorazun is sitting at 213 supply out of 200, and Vorazun does not look like she intends on stopping anytime soon. And now Vorazun is actually sitting at also a lot of gas float over here, so that is also kind of interesting. But now Vorazun is going to start making her way towards the bonus objective with Karax on this side. So there was a little bit of a conversation over there. So Vorazun is basically telling our ally, I'm going to time stop, and we're going to start stealing some units. So I'm going to try and show you both perspectives over here. And as soon as time stop comes in, these two players are going to be like in a candy store, just selecting whichever units they want, and they're going to start stealing them. So time stop has been casted. Karax starts pushing in here. He steals the Immortal. He's like, I'd like this, I'd like that, I'd like some of these as well. And Vorazun doing the same thing as well, stolen all the Void Rays. There are a few scouts as well over here already taken, and now all that's left is the mothership, which unfortunately Vorazun cannot steal. And now unfortunately the time stop has worn off, and these units are getting focus fired down by the army over here, and that might be a bit of a problem, but because there is a Hybrid and a bunch of Zealots, so okay, unfortunately Karax does get caught off guard over here, ends up losing a large number of the Energizers. 31 Energizers have fallen as a result of that, because they were in the midst of a Hybrid. But Vorazun now is getting her army into position to be able to deal with this side. Vorazun has already lost a little supply as well. They lost the supply gap because they probably lost a Dark Pylon to an attack that's come up over here. And unfortunately, Karax a little bit of a hard time over here. That's not getting wiped by the rest of the units on that side, and Karax has been reduced now to 59 supply. But over here, Vorazun should be okay if she's paying attention. On this side, there is a black hole that comes in to try and keep these units alive. On here, Vorazun holding this side, and I think those Dark Archons will get this around and just start one-shotting everything, because they do a lot of damage, especially if the units are clumped up in the black hole. On this side, a few Sentinels get warped in to try and hold this bot. Over here, Vorazun still standing strong, stealing some of Amon's units from there, and now Vorazun's army is starting to thin out, so now would probably be a nice time to warp in some more Dark Archons to get some more mind control abilities going. Overall, Vorazun has actually lost a lot of the Dark Archons as well. 8 Dark Archons have been killed off since as a result of that, but now there is another attack up here, and Karax is warped in some more Energizers to start stealing some enemy units here. Some of the Phoenixes have gotten stolen from Amon, and now the commanders will have to deal with the next attack wave that's coming up, and that attack wave is kind of nasty. Unfortunately, Vorazun does not have the black hole duration, so now we have a black hole that gets casted over here, and a lot of mind controls go down, and like all those void rays have been stolen by Vorazun, I think, for the most part. Lol, indeed, laugh out loud, because that was pretty much all of Amon's army just stolen by Vorazun. Instantly back to 235 supply. Karax is trying to continue to ramp up. Mass Void Ray of Vorazun. Yeah, this is the most long-winded Vorazun play here. I think they want to go and do the bonus objective, which is not really a bad idea, because there's a hybrid dominator that's left over here. That hybrid doesn't have any energy left, because it'll probably use all its abilities trying to do stuff there. There's a bit of a stun here on this Immortal. Vorazun doesn't really want that Immortal for the most part, I think. Hybrid goes down, Immortal goes down. Now all that's left is to go and deal with this bonus objective over here. In the meanwhile, Karax has spawned a few Sentinels, and he's going to be dealing with this hybrid over here, which is going to be harassing these units over here. But Karax is not interested in dealing with the hybrid just yet, because there is a time stop that is ready. Nope, changes his mind. Wants to go and get this thing ready. And now both commanders are taking position into on both sides, and they're going to do a complete flank and a complete pincer attack on Amon's army. There is a time stop ray. Go, go! Time stop gets cast, everything gets stolen or frozen, and now it's gonna get stolen. Karax is just moving right into the middle here. Steals the two Colossi, and steals the Void Ray, steals the other Void Ray over here. On this side, Vorazun has pretty much stolen everything. A few Dark Archons over here that are getting the focus fired down, but a few scouts as well on the front line here. As soon as these units do get, they will get focus fired down by Vorazun and hopefully stolen as well. And this enemy base pretty much stands no chance against two allied commanders. They're dealing a lot of damage. Vorazun sitting at 211 out of 200 supply so far, but yeah, that is the power of stealing stuff. When you steal stuff, you get stuff for free. Come on, Blizzard. What are you teaching players to do? But there we go. That is like, look at the army of Void Rays for Vorazun. Vorazun's gone for a mass Void Ray build without building a starport or a Stargate. There are no Stargates for Vorazun here. The most trolly builds ever. It's so much fun to watch. And Karax has actually taken a few of his own Void Rays as well. He does have a Colossus as well from that base here. And yeah. I think there was a scout that had started to harass here, but Karax warps in an Energizer, ends up stealing that scout as well. Now all that's left of the enemy base is this side, so the Sentinels will be moving in here to deal with this. And you can see that the Vorazun is floating at 12,000 minerals so far, because Vorazun does not really want to use any cannons as well. Just wants to start stealing in one's army. There are a few Energizers here that do end up getting caught, but there's a Reclamation that comes down. A lift up on this Energizer. This Energizer will end up going down. On here, there is a bunch of Stalkers that are dealing some damage to this. And again, Vorazun's army is in position. There's another Black Hole that gets dropped, and I think Vorazun might end up stealing all those Phoenixes over here. Are they going to steal? No, they're just going to just take them out here. And again, there's another attack wave on this side as well. And now there's a harass wave that has spawned from the top. Karax is clearing out this side. On this side, it seems to be all okay. There are a few Oracles are harassing the Sentinels on here. Unfortunately, Sentinels cannot attack the air units here. And now Vorazun is getting in position here. And again, Black Hole, and just focus fire down with the Dark Archons. And with these units all clumped up, they just take an insane amount of damage and end up getting completely wiped here. And lots of Dark Archons as well. A lot of Dark Archons actually low on energy, so Karax has to jump in now and start stealing some units for himself. Now there's another attack wave that's coming up here with a lot of Void Rays here. I think Vorazun is going to try and grab some of these units. Karax gets some of these, and Vorazun cleans up the rest of them. And that attack wave completely cleared, with now another harass wave that's coming up over here on this side. It's just a moment in time now before we'll probably start getting the attack wave to spawn as well. So the commanders will probably have to make sure they have enough energy in their reserves before they choose to engage that. And on here again, another harass wave completely cleared. Now another harass wave spawning at the bottom here to deal a little bit more, trying to harass the harvest. But both the armies decide to intercept this, and Karax steals some of these Void Rays. I think Karax has stolen all the Void Rays in that engage here. So one last Void Ray that's left on this side, but a little bit difficult to see because it's just a complete slugfest. And yeah, Commanders are all okay. They're ready to go and engage. There's one more harass wave that has spawned. Attack wave will be spawning in about 5 seconds. So the commanders have decided to split right now. There's a purifier beam that gets dropped on here. Unfortunately, it ends up missing a good chunk of the Void Rays. But now Vorazun is going to go and engage the side and now casts a time stop and says, you know what, these Tempests look nice. I'd like to have them. But does not... I think only one of the Tempests have been stolen. It's actually really difficult to see. Everything is stacked up on top of each other. But these Tempests will end up getting cleaned up right now. And the last harvesting bot is safely behind allied commander lines. So it will probably not get focus fired down by anything else. There are a few depths that are left over here. Some more Void Rays coming up on this side. Unfortunately, no Energizers here to steal those Void Rays. So I think the commanders will probably have to try and rotate around to try and get those Void Rays and clear out that side. Over here, one more Energizer at the back. The Energizer is not going to be trying to mind control. I have 22 Void Rays. They probably, yes, they have 22 Void Rays. But I'm more interested in seeing what are the other unit counts here. Total of 9 Dark Archons. A lot of Dark Archons actually ended up going down in that engage. But you can just see the power of like Vorazun's army right now with 22 Void Rays. And there you go. This is something you're never going to see. You'll see Vorazun with Lost Oracles, Lost Colossus, and Lost Immortal for Vorazun. There you go. But that's the last harvesting bot saved, and that is GG.